Snow is falling everywhere, the city is alive, with Christmas music, and happy crowds. A family is heading home. The father asks if they had fun. The little girl shouts, it was the best day, but their path is blocked. A massive shadow looms over them. The little girl stops. This man is huge. The father looks up. The cheerful mood just vanished. Who is this guy? Why am I always shrinking back for others? Wait, it makes sense. In this entire crowd, I'm the only one alone. Hwan keeps moving through the busy street, but then he stops. There is someone else, alone in this city. Normally, Hwan would just keep walking, but this time, he can't look away. A man in a Santa suit is huddled on the ground. His sign asks people to tell him their wish. Today is Christmas Eve, the day I was left all alone after my parents died. Hwan pulls some cash from his wallet. He hands it over with a small snack. Take this, he says, it's still good. The man is ecstatic. He calls Hwan a truly kind soul, but then, he suddenly grabs Hwan's hand. He wants to repay this act of kindness. Tell me your wish. Hwan can't believe this. Is this guy crazy? This is exactly why I don't do things I don't normally do. He just wants the man to let go. The old man's grip is like iron. Hwan is completely pinned. He's never been overpowered like this. The Santa begs him. He says he can't go back home until a wish is granted. Hwan just wants out. If I make a wish, will you let go? The man agrees instantly. Hwan tries to lie. He asks to win the lottery jackpot. But the Santa knows that's not your true heart's desire. Tell me the truth. Hwan goes quiet. What is it that I actually want? My true wish. I want a family. One that stays by my side forever. I just need a family. Hwan finally says it. My wish is for a lovely wife and a cute daughter. The Santa stops. He says he can smell the sincerity. He sees a soul that has been alone for far too long. The old man laughs. He feels lucky to have met someone just like himself. But then, his entire energy shifts. His gaze turns piercing. I'll find you a wife pure as snow, and a daughter who will love her father. This doesn't feel like a miracle anymore. It feels like a threat. The Santa shouts out. He truly hopes Hwan has a happy life. But Hwan has had enough of this. He rips his hand away with a grunt. He doesn't look back. What a crazy bastard. Hwan runs as fast as he can. That guy is definitely out of his mind. Behind him, the Santa keeps screaming. He promises to use all his powers to grant that wish. The whole Santa village is rooting for you. Hwan finally makes it onto the subway. He tries to rest. He tries to forget. But the words stick. What was that guy even talking about? What did he mean? Anyone could tell he was just crazy. But the reason I still made a wish is because I want to be happy, too, just like everyone else. Hwan stares at the family posters. He just wants what everyone else has. He closes his eyes to block it out. But then, the atmosphere shifts. A thick purple mist creeps into the car. What's that smell? And why is it suddenly so cold? Something is coming. Hwan groans in pain. His head is spinning. Something is very wrong. He forces himself awake. But the subway is gone. What the hell? He's not on a train. He's in a wooden cage. A horse-drawn carriage is rattling through a strange, old village. Hwan grips the bars. He's barely wearing anything. Where am I? Next to him, an older man sits silently. His clothes are torn. He looks completely drained. This isn't a dream. He's been taken. But where are they taking him? Hwan looks around. He's not alone. Other men are chained inside this cage. Is this the Middle Ages? It feels impossible. Footsteps approach. Hwan looks toward the sound. The guards are shouting, but their words make no sense at all. It's a language he's never heard before. Everything looks like a medieval movie set. The clothes, the armor, none of this is familiar. Is this a dream, or is this real? Hwan finally admits it. He's not home anymore. He's ended up in another world entirely. He tries to breathe. His feet are shackled, the cold metal heavy against his skin. He's a prisoner in a world he doesn't know. What happens to him now? Hwan looks over. That person, are they dead? The man isn't moving. The cage is silent. The cold is winning. The living have to keep on living. He makes a choice. I'm sorry, he whispers to himself. He takes the clothes from the body. He needs the warmth to survive the night. He pulls the tunic over his head. It's tattered and old, but it's all he has. He lies back down. His mind starts racing. He remembers the voice. I'll use all my Santa powers to grant your wish. Is this the happiness he was promised? Or is this a cruel, twisted joke? Hwan lies there, staring into the dark. Is this the happiness he was promised? Maybe he had the Wrong definition of happiness all along. If this is a dream, please let me wake up. But he doesn't wake. Days bleed into weeks. He loses all track of the time passing. The carriage keeps rattling, trapped in this cage, moving toward the unknown. Hwan sits in silence. He's starting to understand. He's learned a few things. First, everyone in this carriage is a slave, and that includes him. He lets out a breath. The reality is sinking in. Second, he finally knows why they are being dragged across this world. What do the soldiers want with them? They're moving us to be sold to the highest bidder. A lock clicks open. The heavy door creaks. The journey has stopped. The guards are shouting. Their voices are harsh. They want us out. They line everyone up. A man walks by. He looks like a leader. He's inspecting the slaves, picking the healthy ones. It hurts to admit, I'm just property now, but a part of me is actually hopeful. This is my chance, my only way out. I have to leave this hellish carriage, even if it means being sold to someone. Is this really an escape, or just a new cage? Hwan looks at himself. He's in good shape. He's strong. He thought he'd be sold in no time. He actually felt hope, a chance to leave that cramped cage behind. But that hope died. They visited more villages, one after another, and nobody wanted him. The carriage keeps moving, rattling through the woods. The journey never ends. Hwan hits the floor. He's exhausted. He's at his limit. How did things end up like this? He stares at nothing. Is there even a point in living anymore? If no one buys him, what happens next? Hwan, work hard at everything you do, no matter what. Do you understand? His mother's voice echoes in his head. He's lying there, thinking of his parents. Will I be able to endure this? Then he remembers him, that old man in red, promising to use all his powers for him, to make his wish finally come true. Happiness, my foot, to hell with this world, and my old one too. He slams his hand down. He's done with waiting. He's done with hoping. If the world is going to be cruel, he'll have to be even worse to survive. To me, happiness right now is dying, escaping all this pain. He holds the fork. He presses it close, ready to end it. No, that's not it. I don't want to die in a place like this. A memory flashes by. His family, his old life. I want to be happy too. He stops. He just sits there, lost in the dark. Then, a voice speaks. Someone is at the bars. A woman is looking in. She reaches through. She's holding a loaf. Fresh bread. It's Lizzie. She's smiling at him, like he's a person. In this dark cage, she's the first light he's seen in weeks. But why is she helping a nameless slave? Eat this. Lizzie hands him the bread. She speaks so kindly, even to a slave. Hwan looks at her. He recognizes that face, the golden hair, those same eyes. A memory hits him. A little girl, peeking through the bars, hiding behind her mother. It's her, the girl from years ago. She's all grown up. The fork hits the floor. The metal clangs loudly. He doesn't need it now. He was ready to die, but seeing her again, it changes everything. She was his only friend. Now she's his only hope. But can a slave ever be with her? Deep in the woods, inside a quiet cabin, a simple meal is being shared. Young Lizzie finishes every last drop, but it isn't enough. The woman pushes her own bowl forward. She tells Lizzie to eat more. Lizzie stops and just looks at the extra food. The woman claims she is hungry. That is why she is sharing. She says if she feels the hunger, then Lizzie must feel it too. But Lizzie sees right through her. She points back at the woman. If you are hungry, then you should be eating too. The warm meal is suddenly interrupted. Loud banging shakes the door. The woman pulls Lizzie close. A voice calls out from the other side. It is the village chief. He tells her not to move, just listen. The village leaders held a meeting. They made a choice for her future. One of the men, brought by soldiers, will be her new husband. The decision is final. She has no say. Tomorrow morning, a man will be chosen. Then she must leave for the mountain. The chief tells her to bring food for the soldiers. At daybreak, he walks away, leaving them in the shadows. Everything is about to change. The woman holds Lizzie tight. What can she do? The village moved way too fast. She knows the price of disobedience. The fear of being beaten again is almost paralyzing. But running away isn't an option. They haven't been together for long, but she can't leave her behind, leaving this child all alone again. She just can't do it. A soft sound breaks the silence. The weight of this choice is heavier than ever. She won't let go, no matter what happens tomorrow. Lizzie lets out a loud cry. The sound echoes through the dark cabin. The woman sits on the floor, listening to the fading sobs. What is going to happen now? She can't face that nightmare again. The memory of it is too much. She grips her clothes tight. It must be the same for little Lizzie too. The girl finally falls into a restless sleep. She holds her bare clothes, unaware of the choice being made. Morning is coming, and the nightmare is waiting. A 5-year-old girl, without even a name. She is just the daughter of a dead man. Looking at her, I remember my own start. My father sold me for a single rabbit skin. That was my worth. The very first day I arrived at the hut, I didn't even get to unpack my things. The man who was supposed to be my husband started the beatings right then and there. His only reason? I arrived later than he expected. That was it. In that moment, the wretched reality finally sank in. This miserable life was only just beginning. I collapse on the cold floor. Every breath feels like a struggle. In this living hell, I have nothing left. But then, a small shadow moves toward me. It's Lizzie. She doesn't look away in fear. Instead, she slowly sits down beside me. Her tiny hand reaches out. She gently strokes my messy hair. In this dark place, she is the only one who reached out. This angelic child is the only reason I'm still here. The man went into the mountains and never came back. Now it's just the two of us, alone in this cabin. The villagers say the wolves got him at the hunting grounds. He's gone for good. When I heard the news, I felt a moment of pure relief. The monster was dead. But that feeling didn't last long. A new dread started to sink in. In this world, a woman alone is like a sheep outside the fence. Without a husband, there is no protection. The safety of the cabin is gone. Footsteps approach from the distance. The nightmare isn't over. It's just changing shape. We head toward the village center. The air is filled with a strange noise. People are gathering. Lizzie points ahead, shouting for me to look over there. She thinks it's just a carriage, but as it rolls closer, the wooden bars come into view. It's a cage. A man is locked inside, chained like an animal. I stop moving. The man in the iron grip of that cage. I know him. It's Hawan. How did he end up here? Hawan's rage breaks the silence. He screams that I'm completely useless. A heavy blow forces me down. He's still eating while he strikes. He mocks us for acting close. After just meeting, our bond seems to disgust him. He shouts that we are making him lose his entire appetite. A metal fork clatters loudly against the floor. He threw it with pure spite. I pull Lizzie into my arms. I make sure my body is her only shield. The sharp metal lies inches away. I stare at the fallen fork. In this house, even a meal is a battlefield. How much longer can we survive this man's shadow? I take a piece of simple bread. It's all I have to offer him. Lizzie follows closely. As we approach the heavy cage, I reach through the wooden bars. Hawan looks up as I hand the food over. For a second, the world is quiet. Then a voice cuts through the air. An elder approaches, calling out that I've finally arrived. He's been watching. Lizzie lets out a small gasp at the sudden interruption. The moment is broken. The village is waiting for us, and they don't look very patient. The elder takes the bowl from me. He tells me to head straight back to the village. They'll handle the soldiers from here. I agree and tell Lizzie it's time for us to move out. She follows me without a word. Behind the bars, Hawan is silent. He finally takes a bite of the dry bread. It's the first piece he's had, but it doesn't last for long. Heavy boots stomp against the ground. Soldiers in armor burst through the entrance with a deafening shout. They order him to get out before he can even stand up. A sudden strike shatters the air. The mercy is over. The nightmare is just beginning. A heavy boot sends Hawan flying. He's kicked out of the cage like a piece of worthless trash. He hits the hard dirt face first. A pained grunt escapes his lips as he struggles to even move. But the soldiers aren't finished yet. In the village, the captives are forced to kneel. A cold voice gives the order to finally begin. The slaughter starts without any warning. Blades sink deep into the defenseless. Blood splatters across the dusty ground as the villagers scream in vain. Lizzie is forced to watch it all. A soldier calmly wipes his blade with a cloth. The message is perfectly clear now. No one is getting out of this place alive. The soldiers pull out strange, glowing papers. A blue light flickers between them. What is this magic? Hwan stares at the impossible sight. He's exhausted and completely out of his own element. What kind of world is this, anyway? One soldier leans in to the elder. He whispers in a strange language. That sounds like nothing Hwan knows. They're deciding his fate right now. Hwan stays kneeling in the dirt. He looks up at the men who hold his life in their hands. Everything feels wrong. The sun shines through the trees over a quiet little village house. It looks peaceful, but for Hwan, this beautiful view is just another part of his cage. Where are they taking him next? A heavy sack thuds onto the floor. The elder tells me to take this to the hut. The village will provide for now. But her voice is cold and sharp. She reminds me that every scrap must be paid back in full. Then she mentions my new husband. He doesn't even speak our language. I need to keep that in mind. The elder doesn't hold back her true feelings either. Nobody in this village actually liked my late husband. They only tolerated him because they needed a keeper for the mountain. But this new man is different. The soldiers claim he's just a commoner. He looks intimidating with that massive frame, but there's a strange rumor about him. They say his hands are as soft as a noble's. Who exactly did they bring into my home? The elder tries to calm my nerves. She says his hands look like they've never hit anyone. I shouldn't worry about his temper. She promises that if he's good at his job, we'll live well. But I don't need a good life. I just hope with all my heart that he isn't a violent man. If he just leaves us alone, that would be more than enough. I look down at little Lizzie, sleeping so peacefully. I just want to keep her safe. Suddenly, a loud banging shakes the door. It's him. He's outside, demanding that I open up immediately. My heart sinks as the wood rattles. Is our nightmare only just beginning? The chief pushes the door open. He announces that the man I'm to marry is finally here. My husband? The chief orders the others to bring him inside. Hwan steps into the small room. He looks around at the unfamiliar wooden walls. Where are we now? I look at this stranger and my heart sinks. He's clearly hurt. Why are they dragging an injured man around like this? I pull Lizzie closer to me. He's so much bigger than I ever imagined. Is he really the one I'm supposed to marry? He stands there like a giant in our tiny little home. Everything is about to change forever. He's absolutely massive. I've never seen anyone so big in my life. Hwan looks down, and his eyes land on me. Wait, this woman, isn't she the one who gave me that bread? He watches me closely as I stand before him. But why is she so terrified? I can't even find my voice. The chief snaps at Hwan for just standing there. He tells him to get moving. The old man grabs his arm and pulls him toward me. Come on, over here. The chief forces us together like we're just livestock. He points at the floor and tells Hwan to stay right here. This is it. The stranger is officially in my home now. The chief isn't taking no for an answer. He grabs my hand and forces it onto her. He tells us to stop being so stiff. After all, we're getting married. He steps back, looking proud. He says that, standing together, we look like a perfect couple. I have no clue what he's actually saying, but I can feel the weight of the room. What is this strange atmosphere? Based on how they're looking at us right now. No way. Don't tell me. Is this some kind of sick fairy tale? A wife with a heart as pure as snow. A lovely daughter who looks up to her father. They're trying to hand me a ready-made family, like a gift I never wanted, and I don't think I can run away. A rabbit-like bride, that's how she looks to me, fragile and quiet, and a daughter, like a mongoose, small but watchful. I can't believe this is happening. That's Santa. Was he actually for real? I look at the two of them standing there. Did he really grant my wish? I'm a stranger in a strange land, but suddenly I have a family to protect. Is this a blessing or a curse? Only time will tell. A bride like a bunny, a daughter like a mongoose. Everything I wished for is standing right here. Was that Santa actually real? Did he really do this? He granted my wish, but at what cost? He dragged me to another world. He didn't have to make it this hard. Why did this gift come with so much pain? If I ever find That's Santa again. I'm going to end him. He gave me a family, but left me completely stranded. I'm losing my mind. These people are talking, but it's all gibberish. I can't understand a single word. The old man has seen enough. He's already turning away. Wait, you want to shake hands? I have no idea what's happening, but I guess this is a start. Is this how people greet each other here? This guy is squeezing way too hard. Wait, is he okay? I barely touched him, and he's on the floor. He's screaming something I can't understand. Now the old man is getting involved. He's pulling out a bow. They think I'm the one attacking, but if you're going to point that at me, you better be faster than that. Nice try. Why is he giving me this? It doesn't feel like a challenge. Wait, what is he doing? Is he acting like a rabbit? Oh, he wants me to learn how to hunt. There it is, a real one. Shoot it now. He's losing his mind, trying to get me to take the shot. Move it, get lost. He's pushing me like it's easy. But there's one small problem. I've never used a bow in my life. I heard in the Olympics, it's hard enough just to shoot straight. This is going to be a disaster. How am I supposed to hit anything from this far away? I'll just give it my best shot. That was not even close. The rabbit didn't even move. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's screaming at me like I just committed a crime. I don't get it. How does anyone actually use this thing? He's still going, just endless shouting in a language I don't know. Wait, who are they? That hair, that dress. It can't be. Is that actually them? Wait, did he just say, "This woman is my bride"? I can't even look at her. This is way too much to take in. 1 minute I'm failing at hunting. The next, I'm sitting here, having a picnic. Everything is so quiet. She's just sitting there, waiting for me to eat. It's a simple meal, but why does it feel so heavy? I'm supposed to be some kind of warrior, but right now, I'm just a guy, trying to figure out how I ended up with a family. Family, that word feels so strange to me. From middle school until I turned 30, I was always alone. Waking up by myself was just normal. But now, someone like me actually has a family. The timing is completely messed up. We didn't grow into this naturally. I just woke up, and they were here. I still want to find that Santa and settle the score for dropping me here. But looking at them, maybe this messed up order of things isn't so bad. I guess I'll just have to make it work. I'm still grateful for this moment, even if it feels like a dream. But reality hits the very next day. Everything is moving way too fast. I'm carrying everything we own on my back, but I'm not the one I'm worried about. Are they doing okay? They look like they're struggling just to keep up. I want to ask, I want to help, but I don't even know their language. What kind of situation is this? I'm their protector, but I can't even say a word to them. I can't stay like this forever. I have to master this world, and I have to do it fast. My mother used to tell me something. She said if you want to protect someone, you can't hesitate. The moment you feel that urge to help, you have to run to them immediately. I've been walking ahead, lost in my own head, but they're back there, barely keeping up. The little one is reaching out. She's scared. She's calling for help. I can't just keep walking. I can't let them struggle alone anymore. It's time to stop thinking and start being the man they need. I'm trying to be as gentle as possible. I tell the little one, I'm just going to hold her for a bit, but they don't understand a word. To them, I'm just a giant stranger closing in. Lizzie drops to her knees immediately. She's begging for mercy in a language I can't even read. Even the child is backing away. I didn't realize just looking at them would cause this much pure panic. I guess my face is scarier than I thought. If just walking up makes them collapse, I have to change. I can't just stand here and watch. I need to show them I'm not the enemy. I tell them to excuse me, and before they can run, I reach out and pull the child into my arms. I'm done waiting for them to catch up. If they can't walk, I'll just have to carry them myself. One arm for the child, one arm for Lizzie, and the massive pack still on my back. They're completely frozen. A second ago, they were terrified I might hurt them. Now, they're realizing just how strong I actually am. I'm not a threat. I'm their only way out. The little one points at the luggage. She's probably wondering how I'm even standing. I don't have the words to explain it, so I just give them one simple warning. Hold on tight, because we aren't stopping for anything. I've got the luggage, the child, and Lizzie. By all accounts, this should be impossible. but it doesn't feel heavy at all. Are they really this light? It's like carrying nothing but air. It makes me realize just how much they've been struggling. I need to learn their language fast. I need to hunt, to provide, to make sure they never feel this fragile again. Things are about to get very busy. I have 2 lives resting in my arms now. I'm lost in these thoughts until I feel it. A small hand reaches out. She touches my neck, just a soft, silent gesture. She knows, and for the first time, the weight feels real. We finally make it. The old man led us all the way to this clearing. I tell him to go get some rest. I've got it from here. But as I look at this cabin, my heart sinks. This is where we're supposed to live? It looks even colder than the rooftop room I left behind. The walls are thin, the air is biting, and just like that, the cold starts seeping into my bones. It's a feeling I know too well. My breath hitches, my grip tightens around my own chest. I brought them here to save them, but can we even survive the night? I've always hated the biting cold, but right now, I hate it more than ever. I just want to get inside, to find some warmth, and leave this feeling behind. I push the door open, expecting a moment of peace, but the sight inside stops me cold. Lizzie is there. She looks like her world is falling apart. I ask her, what's wrong? Why is she crying? She doesn't say a single word. She just brushes past me and bolts for the door. I'm standing here in the warmth I wanted so badly, but suddenly it feels colder than it did outside. I step inside, but there's nothing to greet me. The room is completely hollow. While we were down in the village, someone came. They took everything, the table, the tools, even our weapons. Every single thing we needed to survive is just gone. The winter is coming for us. We can't fix the walls. We can't even fight off a stray animal now. I find her out in the woods, hiding from the weight of it all. I don't say much. I just sit down beside her. I reach out and rest my hand on her head. It's a silent promise. We lost everything, but we haven't lost each other yet. She looks up at me and tells me not to worry. It's strange. I'm the adult here, but she's the one trying to keep my head up. But inside, she's terrified. This is the man she has to rely on now. A ranger who doesn't even know how to hunt. She's wondering if we'll even make it through the week. I can see the doubt in her quiet stare. So I make a vow. I tell her I'll protect her no matter what. She's still full of anxiety, but for the first time, she doesn't look away. His hand is warm against my face. It's a simple gesture, but it changes everything. The fear I had just a moment ago starts to fade. I know the situation is still desperate. We have nothing left to our names, but looking at him, I can't help but wonder, why do I feel so reassured? It doesn't make any sense. He's just one man against the winter, but for the first time, the weight on my chest is gone. Something has shifted between us, and there's no going back now. I'm still so anxious, but why does this feel so peaceful? Back in my world, I was always alone. Ever since the day my parents passed, I just kept moving to stay alive. But things are different here. Now that I finally have a family, there is nothing I can't endure. Hawan makes a promise. He'll find a way to provide for them, no matter the cost. Rigi can't seem to hold it in anymore, but the heavy silence doesn't last long. A tiny voice screams from across the field. Dorothy comes charging in at full speed. She tells Hawan to stop bullying Rigi. She has no idea what's actually happening. Just like that, the tension breaks. They're all just stuck together now. A woman in my arms, a child by my side. This is all so new. I have so many questions. Who is this little girl? Why did this woman share her food with me? Why was she so broken? None of that matters now. If we stay together, we can be a family. I'll make you both happier than anyone. I won't let you shed another tear. I'll be the husband and father you need. You'll never have to be alone again. The sun is setting on our first day, but inside this house, things are getting awkward. We were so close. Just a moment ago, she was leaning on me, letting it all out. Now we're right back to square one. I feel like a complete stranger to her. In a way, that's actually a huge relief. But we still have to live together. Where do I even begin with all this? Wait, I think I know what to do. Hawan moves closer to the woman and child, but a sharp voice stops him in his tracks. Someone is outside, calling out his full name. Kim Ju-won. That's my name. Since we're living together, we should know that much. Hwan points to himself, with a small smile. Even if we don't talk, we shouldn't be strangers. He reaches out toward her. Now, tell me yours. The woman hesitates, looking at his hand. Finally, she speaks up. Her name is Riji. Hwan repeats it slowly. That's a pretty name. The ice is finally starting to melt. But there's still one more person in the room. Hwan turns his attention to the little girl. And what's your name? The little girl stays silent. She just looks at me. Riji doesn't say a word. The mood feels so heavy. Wait, do you not even have a name? The child looks down, unable to answer him. In that case, I'll give you one. Hwan reaches out and pats her golden hair. From now on, your name is Dorothy, just like the girl from The Wizard of Oz. She was a girl who went on adventures. She had many friends by her side, and from now on, you won't be alone. You'll have us to protect you. Do, Rothy? She repeats the name, testing how it feels. It's the first thing that truly belongs to her. Yeah, it's a name that brings good friends. It means you'll be loved by everyone. The little girl smiles, repeating it once more. Dorothy. She finally has a place in this world, but a name won't keep them fed. The soft light fades into the harsh woods. A loud crack echoes through the trees. Hwan is already back to the hard labor. He swings his axe with everything he has. To protect this family, he has to work. He's such a strange man. Riji watches from a distance, hidden behind the trees. Every swing of his axe shatters the heavy wood. He's bigger and stronger than the man who died. With hands like those, he could easily be violent, but he chooses not to. Instead of hitting me, he treats me with kindness. He's completely different from anyone I've ever known. It's like he's a different kind of person. Ju-won. She whispers his name, letting it linger. I don't know where his language is from, but his voice is gentle. His words sound so refined. I've never received kindness like this before. Not even once. Why is that man being so good to me? Riji watches him work, lost in her own head. He doesn't look like he belongs here at all. Riji. Hwan calls her name, waving from the clearing. She stops and looks straight into his face. Black hair and black eyes. Suddenly, a distant memory flashes through her mind. Did you hear? A country at war just summoned a hero. The villagers were all talking about the ritual. The whole nation is celebrating the legend. A hero from another world has finally arrived. A legendary warrior with black hair and eyes. To think a person like that actually exists. He does look similar, but there's no way a hero would be here. Riji watches him approach, trying to make sense of it. Someone meant for a palace wouldn't be in this village. He's just a ranger, working in the dirt. The hero is just a rumor. Hwan stops right in front of her. Ah, he makes a small sound, looking down at her. Seeing him up close, his hair isn't black, it's actually more brown, and his eyes are the same way too. Thank goodness, he's just a guy who's bigger than most. Riji lets out a breath, finally feeling at ease. She's convinced herself he's nobody special, but sometimes the truth hides in plain sight. Why am I so relieved? I'm actually relaxed around this man. We only met for the first time today. I'm not used to this. Riji stands still as Hwan reaches out. Until now, a man's hand only meant one thing. It meant he was going to hit me. She waits for the blow, but it never comes. Instead, his touch is soft. This actually feels good. I want him to keep touching my head more. I want him to never let go. For the first time, a hand brings peace instead of pain. Hwan doesn't stop at just a head pat. He pulls her closer, his hand sliding down. The air in the woods suddenly feels very heavy. He leans in deep. Before Riji can even process what's happening, he's kissing her. It's sudden and intense, breaking all the rules. But the moment doesn't last. A sharp, cracking sound echoes through the trees. The warmth is gone. In a single heartbeat, Hwan stumbles back, looking at his hands. Riji is trapped inside a solid block of ice. She's frozen completely solid. He stands there alone, staring at the statue. Did he go too far? Or is there something dangerous inside of her? Hwan can't even find the right words. He just stammers, looking at Riji. The weight of that kiss finally hits him. He doesn't say anything. He just grabs his bucket and bolts into the trees. He's running as fast as his legs can carry him. Riji is left behind, standing there in shock. She watches him disappear without a single explanation. The silence is deafening. Damn it, seriously, what is wrong with me? Hwan keeps moving, berating himself with every single step. What is she going to think of me now? We only met for the first time today. Even if we are technically married, that was way too much. He's ruined everything before it even started. We don't even speak the same language. What am I supposed to do? Should I just act like nothing ever happened? Hwan keeps walking, trying to escape the awkwardness. But the deeper he goes, the stranger the woods look. How far have I gone? Where even is this place? The trees are thicker here. The light is fading fast. I should just get the water and get back immediately. But he stops. A strange sound echoes through the dark branches. The air suddenly feels heavy and cold. Something is out there. Hwan stands perfectly still, gripping his wooden bucket. He isn't alone anymore. The forest is waking up. A pair of red eyes cuts through the darkness. Hwan stops dead. A low, guttural growl vibrates through the grass. This isn't a normal animal. The shadow it casts is absolutely massive. It towers over him, snarling in the shadows. A wolf. Hwan stares at the beast as it steps forward. Its teeth are sharp, glistening in the moonlight. He's completely cornered. All he has is an empty wooden bucket. No sword, no magic, just a death stare. The wolf isn't waiting. It's locking onto its prey. One wrong move now, and this awkward day is going to be his last. A wolf. The growl fills the woods. Hwan doesn't hesitate. He drops his weight low. His hand reaches out. He finds a heavy branch. The predator is right there. One of them isn't leaving this forest alive. He grips the wood tight. The beast lunges forward. The branch jams its jaws. It's a desperate block. But Hwan isn't stopping. He pulls back his fist. Ooh-wah-ah. He lands a massive blow. The impact shakes the woods. The hunter just became the one being hunted. The wolf screams out. Hwan holds the line. Damn it. He won't let go. The wood stays jammed. You think I'm gonna die here like this? He throws everything into one final, crushing blow. The beast is reeling. But is it enough to end this nightmare? I am not dying here. Hwan throws one last strike. The wolf bites back hard. Gah-ah. The struggle reaches its peak. Then, the air shifts. My whole body hurts, like it's on fire. It's not just a feeling. Real flames burst forth. The wolf is caught in a sudden inferno. What is this? The beast is retreating. But Hwan just realized he isn't human anymore. The beast is finally down. It's smoking on the grass. What was that just now? Hwan hits the ground. He's completely drained. I'm sure I saw my arm catch fire. But he looks closer. His sleeve is perfect. So why isn't there any burn mark? Not on his skin. Not even on his clothes. Don't tell me the truth is impossible. Used magic? He survived the wolf. But he might have just changed his world. Falling into another world. And getting special powers. That happens in novels. All the time. If that's the case, maybe. Fireball. He waits for the explosion. But the forest stays quiet. Fireball. 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 He keeps shouting at nothing. The dead wolf doesn't move. Firestorm. Still nothing. Firewall. Hwan is lying in the dirt, feeling like a total idiot. The fire was real before. So why won't it come back now? Fire magic. Dragon breath. He's trying everything now. Spirit of the earth. Fairy of fire. The wolf is still dead. And Hwan is still alone. This is getting embarrassing. But then he looks down. The wounds are gone. It wasn't an illusion. That power actually healed him. If I can master this, I can finally protect them. He sees their faces. Ridgy and little Dorothy. No more starving. No more living in fear. In a village with no doctors, this power is everything. He stands up. The hunt is over. But his real work is just beginning. Let's think this through. If it happened once, it'll happen again someday. But for Hwan, again usually means tragedy. Not long after. I lost my parents. My grandfather left my side as well. He was perfectly healthy. But after taking me in, he died in an accident. It's all your fault. A man strikes him hard. Because I lived with you, my brother died. Then my father died too. Hwan hits the floor. He doesn't fight back. He's spent his whole life being blamed for death. Is this new power just another curse? You're the cause of everything. The voices never stopped. Back then, I was just a middle schooler. But my own relatives treated me like a plague that brings death. Hwan shakes it off. The past is dead. But this wolf is heavy. I should drain the blood, but other beasts might come. He heaves the carcass up. We need to get home before it gets too late. Skinning this won't be easy. But I watched Grandpa butcher animals for years. I never thought those lessons would save my life. If he could see me, he'd be really proud. But the forest at night is never truly empty. He's making his way back. The weight is massive, but his mind is heavier. How am I supposed to train this magic? There are no teachers here. No books to read. Just a power that appeared out of nowhere. While he struggles outside, life goes on at home. Ridgy is busy in the kitchen. The fire is warm, and the house is quiet. Until a little voice breaks the silence. The bowl. Dorothy comes running in. She has no idea what's waiting at the door. A feast is coming, but so is a mystery. Ridgy thanks her little helper. Dorothy is all smiles. She loves being useful. But the cozy mood doesn't last long. A strange rustling sound comes from the darkness. Dorothy stops in her tracks. She rushes to the window. Something is moving out there. She peers into the night, trying to see the truth. Is it Hwan returning, or did something follow him all the way home? A nightmare is staring back. The wolf is right there, inches away from the glass. Dorothy lets out a scream that shatters the silence. Ridgy doesn't waste a second. She calls out for Dorothy while grabbing a kitchen knife. She's moving on pure instinct. Dorothy, get back. Stay behind me. She sprints toward the window, ready to protect her family. But as she reaches it, she finally sees the truth. The danger isn't just close, it's already at the door. Hwan hits his limit. The weight is too much, and he collapses. Hwan! She screams his name as he drops the beast. Inside, Ridgy hears the crash. She doesn't wait for answers. She kicks the door open. No! She's ready to strike, knife gripped tight. But the monster isn't attacking. The massive carcass hits the ground with a thud. Ridgy? Dorothy? He looks up, exhausted. Ridgy stops in her tracks. The terror is gone, replaced by pure disbelief. The knife slips from her hand and falls. He didn't just survive. He brought the nightmare home for dinner. Ridgy doesn't care about the wolf. She only sees Hwan. She's frantically checking him, searching for any deep wounds. Dorothy is a total mess. She's clinging to his leg, sobbing into his clothes. She won't let go, terrified he'll disappear again. Hwan tries to stay steady. I'm fine, he tells her. I did get hurt, but I'm okay now. Hwan finally admits the truth. It just bit my arm, that's all. He reaches out to Ridgy, trying to calm her hands. Don't worry, I'm really okay. Under the cold moonlight, the nightmare finally ends. They're safe for now, but the cost of survival is written all over him. Ridgy doesn't wait for permission. She throws her arms around Hwan's neck. She's holding on tight, like he might vanish. She keeps repeating the same strange words. Hwan finally understands. She's saying thank goodness. Dorothy is right there too, clinging to his side. She's crying her heart out, trying to tell him how worried she was. Hwan holds them both. In the quiet night, he made a promise once. He swore he would never make them cry. But seeing them like this, his heart sinks. He's finally back home, but the weight he carries isn't just the wolf. It's the fear he left behind in this house. The sun is up, but the work isn't over. Hwan is in the shed, carving into the beast. It's a messy, brutal job. He remembers his grandfather doing this with ease, but for him, it's taking forever. Every cut is a struggle, slicing through thick hide. This is way harder than it looks. He stops to catch his breath for a second. He needs to wrap this up before the day gets away. But then, a voice breaks the silence. Hwan. He looks toward the door. Ridgy is standing there, framed by the morning light. The long night is over. But for these two, the day is just beginning. Hwan looks up. Ridgy is right there, standing in the doorway. She didn't come empty-handed. She's carrying a heavy bucket, setting it down beside him. She says something, in her own language. Put the meat in here. She's ready to help with the messy work. Hwan realizes he needs to show some gratitude. But there's a problem. How do you say thank you again? He searches his memory, trying to find the words. Go, AMA. He says it awkwardly, hoping he didn't mess up. Ridgy stops in her tracks. She wasn't expecting that. Did he really just try to speak her language? Ridgy can't help herself. She's holding back a laugh, watching Hwan struggle. Hwan starts to panic. Did I say something wrong? He's overthinking every single syllable. But Ridgy isn't mocking him. She holds up a finger, breaking the word down slowly. Go, ma, whoa. She's teaching him the right way. Hwan follows her lead, repeating the sounds carefully. The tension just melts away. He looks at her properly now, a small smile appearing. Thank you. He says it in his own tongue. The words might be different, but for the first time, they finally understand each other. The hunt was a nightmare, but this moment? This makes it all worth it. A simple thank you. That's all it took. Hwan says it so easily, but Ridgy is completely frozen. She tells him he's welcome, but her mind is racing. Words of gratitude. She never heard them once. Not from her parents. Not even from her brother. All she did was bring water. Such a small, everyday thing. Yet with this man, everything feels like a first. That was my first time. My first time touching lips. It's so embarrassing, but I can't stop wondering. Has he done this before? Has he held someone else? Did other women feel this exact same way? For some reason, my chest actually hurts. My heart is everywhere, and I might just cry. I have to stay busy. I have to be useful. This is my job, Hwan. Let me handle the rest. Why is he so calm? Our hands just touched, and he doesn't even blink. What do I do? He's leaning in so close. Is this happening again? Could it be? I actually closed my eyes. I was waiting for it. But he just, a tiny peck on the head. That's it? Idiot. Total idiot. Why did I close my eyes? Now it's so obvious. He knows I was expecting it. What if he thinks I'm desperate for a kiss? Okay, stay calm. I won't close my eyes. I won't give him the satisfaction this time. If I keep them open, he won't think I'm waiting. But Hwan doesn't care about my little plan. He just goes for it. Right there. A real kiss this time. My brain just stopped. I can't even move. He pulls away so casually, like nothing even happened. Wait, who is that? Dorothy? She's standing right there. She saw everything. The kiss, all of it. I can't be here. I have to get out of here. She's gone. Reggie just bolted into the woods, screaming about how embarrassed she is. So now it's just us. Dorothy is trying so hard to help me carry this bucket. It's way too heavy for her, but she won't let go. I told her thank you, but she looks so miserable. Did I say something wrong? Wait, I get it now. I was too general. Ah, is it because I didn't call her name? Dorothy, thank you so much for helping me. That's all it took. One simple mention of her name, and she's the happiest kid alive. Kids really are simple, aren't they? Look at her. She's so focused on that wolf pelt. It smells incredibly strong. Why would she dry it? Inside the house? Oh, I get it now. That pelt isn't just fur. It's precious to her. It means something. Even Dorothy is curious. She can't help but touch it. Oh, it's so soft. Reggie just smiles. The chaos from earlier is finally fading away. Just a quiet, peaceful moment at home. You look like you're having fun. I'm just watching her work. So that's how you cure it. I should pay attention. Next time, I'll have to do this myself. She looks so happy, just seeing the fat. I kept it just in case, and it actually worked out. There's still so much I need to learn here. What counts as valuable? How do people trade? I want to get used to all of this as soon as I can. Enough sitting around. It's time to get back to work. Wait, you want me to sit back down? I'm fine, really. I've rested enough. It doesn't even hurt. I won't push myself, so don't worry. She doesn't look convinced, but I have to keep moving forward. This tree looks right. The size is perfect. For practice, I heard oak makes the best firewood. Now I just need to figure out which ones are oaks. Time to see what this body can do. I've never done this before, but I'm confident when it comes to my strength. HNNNGH. Wait, what just happened? The axe head, it just flew off. I didn't even hit the tree. I'm just standing here, holding a wooden stick. This is going to be harder than I thought. I made it back with the wood, but the second I stepped inside, my legs just gave out on me. Ah, I'm okay. Don't look so worried. Thanks for catching me. I thought I could handle a bit more, but I was wrong. Even little Dorothy is jumping into action. She's already at the water basin. I guess I'm not the only one trying to help out. She's back already, but she didn't bring a cup of water. She brought the whole basin. Wait, Dorothy, stop. I'm completely soaked. I guess I asked for this, didn't I? Reggie is actually laughing at me. I can't even be mad though. Look at her face. She's so proud of her hard work. Dorothy, thank you. That really helped a lot. Wait, where is she going now? No, Dorothy, stop. That's enough water. You don't have to do it anymore. Someone catch her before I drown. In this living room, it feels like a dream. Just a few days ago, I thought I'd never be this happy. I didn't think life could be this peaceful. Now that I'm here, I want to keep everyone smiling. The cabin is quiet. Smoke is rising from the chimney. We're finally sitting down for a meal. It's simple, but it's everything. Dorothy didn't even finish her food. She's fast asleep, right at the table. She must have worked herself out with all that water. I'll carry her to bed now. This is the life I want to protect. The house is quiet. I lift her up without waking her. She's out cold. I carry her over to the bed near the fire. I have to be extra careful here. One wrong move, and she's awake. There we go. Rest well, kid. Outside, the world is finally still, but the work isn't over yet. Reggie is already at the stove, cleaning up. I should probably go help her. It's just the two of us now, and there's something we need to discuss. I didn't even think about it. I just reached out and stopped her. Reggie froze. She didn't say a single word. The air in the room suddenly felt different. I can't keep this distance anymore. I pull her close. But is she okay with this? Everything else just disappears. It's just us. No more running. No more hiding. Just this moment. In the dark. Kyunhee pulls him close. She tells herself not to be shy. This is her duty. This is what a wife is supposed to do. She reaches for his shirt. Her hands don't hesitate, even if she's nervous. Hwan just watches her. He doesn't say a word. He just lets her lead. But the confidence is only on the surface. Inside, she's still completely overwhelmed. Kyung-hee is frozen, she can barely move, the pressure is too much. But Hwon steps in, he takes her hand, and stops her panic. He leans in close, it's time to sleep, his voice is calm. He leads her inside, the house is quiet, the world disappears. They lie down together, the light goes out, now, there's no turning back. The room is silent, Hwon leans in closer, the distance between them, finally disappears. Everything feels different now, she is so soft, the reality of it, finally sinks in. This woman is his, she really is his wife. It's not just a title, or a duty anymore, but there's a weight to this moment, a silent plea for peace, for both of them, because in the next room, their world is sleeping, and they'll do anything to keep it that way. Hwon has one wish, he prays they never leave this world before him. He begs the heavens not to take them away, let them stay happy until his very last breath. But life here is simple. Rich nobles have mansions and endless empty rooms. They wouldn't understand. For a commoner's home, things are much tighter. Every single child grows up right there, next to their parents. They see everything, they hear everything, and they know exactly what happens at night. Her father's voice was a constant threat. One more sound, and things would get worse. He was a shadow, looming over her life. Even when he slept, the house wasn't quiet. Her mother's whimpering filled the dark hours. It lasted every night, until the sun rose. She lived in terror. She just wanted one night, where she could breathe. One night of peace. She looked at her mother, and saw her own fate. She was terrified. This would be her future. But the sun is rising, the footsteps are real, and the nightmare is finally over. The crackling fire wakes her up. The room is warm, and perfectly still. But something is wrong. She remembers the floor. She remembers drifting off, in the cold. How did she get here? She's in the bed, tucked under the covers, with her family. He didn't just move her here. He's letting her use his arm as a pillow. Everything is so quiet. There's no shouting, there's no fear, just a deep sense of relief. The nights she knew before were never like this. Marriage used to be something to survive. But since meeting him, her world has changed. For the first time, the night feels safe. He stirs in his sleep. A low mumble breaks the morning silence. She freezes. He isn't fully awake. His body moves. On pure instinct, he pulls her closer. He wraps his arm tightly around her, bringing her into his chest. She can't move. Her heart is pounding, like it might actually burst, right then and there. It's a strange sensation, a warmth she's never felt. Everything feels tingly, and completely new. She doesn't pull away. For the first time, being held like this doesn't feel like a threat. It feels like home. But how long can this peace last? She wishes this moment could last forever. But the morning sun doesn't wait for anyone. The light hits the room. Hwon finally stirs, waking up to the quiet of a new day. He sits up slowly. He doesn't make a sound, careful not to disturb the little girl beside him. He reaches out. His hand is large, but his touch is light. As he strokes her hair, she's still deep in sleep, safe and completely unaware of the world outside. This small warm bed, he just watches her. This is the peace he's been fighting for, and he'll do anything to keep it this way. Kyung-hee starts her chores. The house is quiet, and there's work to do. She reaches for the bucket, but a hand gets there first. Before she can even touch it, Hwon takes the weight right out of her hands. He doesn't say a word, he just steps in and handles the heavy lifting, like it's the most natural thing. She stands there watching. In her old life, she did everything alone, but here, he's just there. He finishes the task and turns back to her. The silence between them isn't heavy anymore. She looks up at him. The morning feels different when you aren't facing it by yourself. She finds her voice. Dear, she asks softly, did you sleep well? It's a simple question, but in this house, it means everything. Hwon notices the change. She's acting different, and he can't help but wonder why. Is it his words? Did the way he just addressed her throw her off balance? He runs through the options. Honey? Dear? Wife? The mere thought of it seems to affect her. He decides to ask, what should I call you? How about Lizzie? She stays quiet. The air between them feels thick with anticipation. As she finds her courage, please, she whispers, just call me dear. He gets it now. Aha, she isn't just staying, she's all in. But is he ready for what comes next? He decides to test it. Dear, he says aloud, just to see what happens. It's too much for her. She hides her face and turns away quickly, trying to catch her breath. He watches her go. Her reaction is so cute. I just want to tease her even more. He isn't letting her escape that easily. He reaches out and pokes her back. Dear, he says again, look at me. She lets out a breath. He's being relentless, and she has nowhere left to hide. How is she supposed to handle this version of Hwon? While the adults are busy Dorothy is in a completely different world. She's deep in a dream. In her mind, she's on a mission. A giant piece of meat is flying away, and she has to catch it. She wakes up slowly. The dream was so real, she can almost taste it. And meat, she mutters. Then reality hits. The dream is over, but the hunger is real. She doesn't waste a second. She scrambles out of bed and hits the floor running. If there's food nearby, she's going to find it. She's on the move. Nothing stands between a hungry kid and her breakfast. But what is she going to find? In the kitchen? The romantic moment is officially over. Dorothy comes charging in like a tiny whirlwind. Kyung-hee opens her arms, ready for a hug. Dorothy, she calls out, expecting a sweet reunion. But Dorothy doesn't slow down. She doesn't even look up. She zooms right past them, leaving them in the dust. They're both left standing there, completely confused. Where is she going? In such a hurry? She wasn't running to them. She was running to the prize. The meat from her dream is finally within reach. She found it, but will she actually get a bite? She finally sees it. The target is locked. Meat, she screams, like she's found gold. She doesn't just want to eat it, she wants to be one with the food. She starts climbing right into the barrel. Hwon can't help it. The sight is too funny. He starts mimicking her in a high-pitched voice. Me-at, he shouts back. But Dorothy doesn't care about being teased. She's halfway in the bucket, kicking her legs in pure excitement. Meat, meat, she keeps chanting like a little soldier on a mission. She's officially lost it. The dream is now a reality, and she isn't letting go. Is anyone actually going to cook that for her? The laughter is great, but someone has to put food on the table. Hwon is ready to get to work. Let's work hard at hunting, he says. He leaves the house and heads straight into the deep woods. He's not looking for small game. He's thinking about the wolf he faced before. Bring it on, he tells himself. He's not going in empty-handed either. He's got a new, reliable weapon, ready for action. He grips the heavy axe. This time, he's the one doing the hunting. But in these woods, is he the only one looking for a fight? Hwon heads deeper into the thick brush. The forest is quiet, too quiet. He stops in his tracks. Something feels off. What's with this heavy atmosphere? The air feels thick, like a storm is about to break. He scans the trees, looking for a shadow. He doesn't see anything yet, but his body already knows the truth. He tightens his grip on the axe. Whatever is out there is watching him. Is he the hunter or the prey? The forest is wide open, but Hwon feels trapped. It's like the air has been sucked out. I feel like I'm suffocating, he thinks. He's bracing himself for a monster. What kind of beast is coming this time? He holds his breath, waiting for a roar. Then he hears it, a slow dragging sound coming from the dark. It doesn't sound like an animal. Hwon stands his ground as a figure emerges. It's not a beast, it's a man. An elder in a cloak walks toward him out of the mist. He looks like he's seen 1,000 wars. Hwon came here to hunt a monster, but this stranger might be more dangerous than any wolf. Who is this man waiting in the dark? The two men stand in the heavy silence. Hwon doesn't move. He's waiting for the stranger's next step. Who is that? Hwon has never seen this man before, but the air around him feels dangerously familiar. Is this a traveler lost in the woods? Or is he the reason the forest went quiet? One wrong move, and everything changes. The elder looks back with eyes that have seen too much. He isn't attacking, he's just watching.